An absolutely horrifying incident that has come to light from Kerala. A shocking case, in fact, of cruelty against animals, where a 15-year-old pregnant elephant was fed pineapple that was laden with firecrackers, and that exploded in the elephant's mouth. Now, the elephant died at the Velayar River in Malappuram in a standing position with its trunk in the water. The postmortem revealed that the elephant died due to asphyxiation, and the police are yet to arrest those who are responsible for this horrific incident. And this, of course, absolutely horrifying incident that's coming to light. This elephant was fed pineapple that was laden with firecrackers and that exploded in her mouth. And this was a pregnant elephant, and she was roaming around trying to, unable to drink water, and she was found dead in the river.
The animals is not a method to solve the issue of human-wildlife conflict. So I would say that this should be definitely strict action should be taken against these people. This is basically, I would say, that is what I said. This is against the living world, and that to think we are talking about biodiversity, we are talking about tolerance, we are talking about coexistence.
In fact, joining me on the phone line is animal rights activist Gauri Molikhi with me right now. Thank you so much for joining us. What does one ask in this kind of a situation? Because obviously this is one of the most horrifying incidents of cruelty against animals that we've seen in a long time.
Correct. But this is unfortunately not an isolated incident. Last month, in May 2020, the Kerala government gave orders for people to, that they could be allowed to kill wild boar any which way they wanted to. So it's basically fruits and vegetables laced with poisons and firecrackers which are being left by locals into the forest. Instead of the wild boar, this time the elephant consumed it. That's what has actually happened, which is why this is not at all an isolated incident. A lot of wildlife gets killed, and especially since last month, the Kerala Forest Department has allowed people, locals, to kill wildlife in whatever manner suits them. And these poison killings, these firecracker killings are horrific incidents which are happening on a daily basis. Now, if it happens to a wild boar deep in the forest, nobody comes to know. This was a pregnant elephant, and this case has shook the conscience of India. Elephants are heritage animals in India. It's horrible.
Yes, absolutely. And you're saying that, this is something that the government is allowed to kill wild boar. But obviously, this kind of a procedure to sort of feed an animal, fruit that's laden with firecrackers is horrific, cruel to a different level altogether. But obviously, weren't they aware that the other animals could also, access that and probably get hurt by it?
Correct. While making such a policy, the Kerala Forest Department and the Honorable Chief Minister perhaps did not think of the repercussions of such a faulty policy of killing wildlife. It's just a people-pleasing policy in which the wildlife is getting decimated in Kerala. Especially for elephants, there is no safeguard at all. And even if a wild boar has firecrackers exploding in its mouth, or any deer has, or even a tiger, tomorrow a tiger can actually, perhaps toy with some such fruit which is poisoned, or piece of meat which is poisoned, and it might die. So this policy must be rolled back. It was just introduced last month, and we've already seen this horrific incident now. Even now, the case has been filed by the DFO, but there's no accused, there's no person who has been arrested. It's an unnamed violation. So you never know whether it would come to a case of prosecution at all or not. So giving such, liberties to locals to just kill whatever they have to, whatever comes in their way, is going to lead to more decimation of wildlife and must be rolled back. This is what needs to be done to prevent such cases in future, because prosecution in this case seems to be extremely bleak. The Forest Department has not even started any forensic investigation or trying to figure out where and who placed such a fruit over there with the pineapple with the firecrackers, and this is basically happening every day. It's just that thankfully this time the media has taken it up and it's come to light. Otherwise, this is commonplace in Kerala.
All right, Gauri, thank you so much for joining us with your perspective. Let me also go across to Pramod, who is joining us for more details. Pramod, what can you tell us about the latest developments on this particular incident? We understand that a case has been filed here, but any idea of who are the people behind this?
Well, for now, we can say that the case has came to, to everybody's notice only because of a section officer called Mohan Krishnan, who actually went on Facebook, and he's the one who elaborately wrote what happened to this, elephant. And he has very clearly and unfortunately, in excessive pain, he has written in a poetic form as to what exactly had happened. Now, he claims that this has occurred in a location called as Malappuram, and this particular elephant, who was a wild elephant, had ventured into the hometown, apparently looking for extra food, and nobody had, he did not harm any human being at that point. And unfortunately, some miscreants had fed a pineapple laced with firecrackers, just like you mentioned. These are firecrackers that are used to actually, we have to say that hurt or kill wild bears, and that's when it exploded in the mouth, very badly injuring the tongue and other parts of the mouth. And there is also one more count claiming that with all those injuries, the elephant was roaming around that area for nearly 6 to 7 days, and she did not get any kind of help. This is also one count that has been reported currently, but after some time she could not bear the pain, and the account says that she entered the Velliya river where she was standing in water, and only then the forest officials could trace her, and they had come over there. And even after bringing along 2 more elephants, she did not come out of the water. You could see in those visuals and pictures, she didn't even raise the trunk to actually breathe. The trunk was completely submerged, and finally she had died of asphyxiation. Even Mohan Krishnan also states that when the veterinarian who actually did the autopsy, the postmortem on the elephant, said that they completely broke down to find out that the elephant was pregnant, and she would have delivered a healthy calf had this not occurred to her in 18 to 20 months period. Now a case has definitely been registered, but we're not exactly sure how it's going to develop from this area, because the incident has occurred on 27th of May, and if there were actual proper manpower that was implemented on ground, they could have immediately found out who was responsible for it, because firecrackers has been used, and these are firecrackers that actually blast when touched or crushed. So these kind of things are not done by any person, common person. There are certain people and certain areas only that is available. If it looks like, if the forest officials want to immediately find out, they can definitely do so. But it's been 3rd June, and there doesn't seem to be any such development so far. And that is why when the news came out, it's completely heartbreaking to anybody who's actually listening and watching those visuals.
All right, Pramod, thank you so much for joining us with those latest details.